Okay, we're back, and we've got all our beads and our swivels attached. Now it's time to start spacing them out and getting your centers. In Missouri, the law is 2 feet between drops. I'm going to be well beyond that because these are flathead lines and large fish lines, so we're going to put a little bit more room in there because most of the time these things are going to have live bait on them. So what we'll do is we're going to start out with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to give me about 20 feet of lead before this first anchor. And what I do to mark where my anchor is going to be is I just tie a simple overhand square knot in there. All that is just tell me that's going to be my leading anchor. So from that point, about 6 feet in is where I want to start. That's where I want to start and have my first hook. Okay, now these are little Trotline brads, which you can see right here. And what we do is these fit over the line, and you want to put that brad in there where it's going to meet up. Now you can squeeze these with pliers, but you're going to crimp it down. Now that's securely fastened. It's not going to come loose. It's not going to get away from you. Then you take your brad for the other side. You don't want these just so tight that this thing can't spin. You want just a little bit of play where them beads and the swivel can still move freely. So we're going to pinch the end a little bit together there to hold it. Now you can do this with pliers and it works pretty good. But I found after the other day with a 20-pound fish that got in some brush that he had me tangled up to the point that one of these actually slipped and gave loose. So I went to the wire crimper. And as you can see, this right here is very solid. There's free movement. These fish spin, twist, and pull a lot. What that allows to happen is this is secure now. It's not going anywhere. So that's the first one. So now we gather up our second one. I want mine about 6 feet, between 5 and 6. So that's as close as you're going to get. You can actually measure this out, but tremendous pain in the butt, and I'm not going to do that. Like I said, that just makes such a secure connection. It's unreal. Then take your brad on the other side. I'm just going to give this thing a little bit of a free pinch. Close it down. Then go into the crimper. There you go. You have a very secure connection. I'm going to continue on this line, and then I run middle weights. Some people do, some people don't. I do. I run middle weights. So what I'm going to do is middle ways. I'm going to put a gap, my middle weight, then a gap, then a hook. So I'm going to finish this up, and I'll be back with you, and we'll start talking about drops. Okay, now we're ready to tie off our drops. And what I use are the Magic Bait clips. Again, you can buy them at Walmart. What I normally use is the Magic Bait Trotline clips. Again, you can find these at Walmart. And what we're going to do is we're going to rig these up by opening the tops like so. We're going to add a swivel. Just thread it down the line. Pop that back up, and this is what you're left with. The clip with a swivel. Now, for the droppers, the actual trots, I'm going to use, this is braided Dacron. This is a 130-pound test. And what I've done is I've made some marks here on my table. Now I want my drops to be 6 inches long. So I made a mark on my table here at 13 inches. And I'm going to cut this 13 inches long. I'll cut up enough to make 2 or 3 lines at a time. Now it's time for the hooks. What I use is Gamakatsu Octopus circle hooks. You can get these in the 25 packs, and what I run is a 7 to a 10/0 because I'm a flathead guy. And that's what you're looking at. I love these a lot better than your traditional Trotline hooks because you can put live bait on here. They can struggle around. They very seldom get off. If you hook a nice size fish or any size fish on here and say it rains before the weather gets bad or something, you can't get out to run your lines, they'll stay on there for 2 or 3 days until they finally waller the flesh out enough that they can finally get off. But most of the time, once they're on, they are on. Now, the way we're going to rig this is we're going to take the 13-inch piece of line, feed it through the eye of the hook, like so. Pair the ends up to where they meet, and then a simple double overhand square knot. Cinch that knot down good and make sure it's good and strong and tight. And there you have your 6-inch leader with your hook attached. Then what we do is we take our Magic Bait clip with the swivel attached. We want to feed it through the bottom eye of that swivel. We push the knot through the swivel like so. Then open this up. Pull the hook back through And you want to make sure that, this is important, you want to make sure that knot rests in the back side of that swivel. Like so. The reason why I love this setup is you can run live baits, cut baits, or whatever, and when you pull that main line up, this actually clips in to the main line, and you can, if you're running cut bait or some kind of prepared bait, you can actually bait these up before you ever even get to the river. Then all you got to do is run your line and clip them all on, and makes baiting out a lot faster. Another good thing is if you get a real large fish on here while you got the main line, you get him in the net, then you just unclip him. You don't have to worry about struggling with the fish and the main line and worrying about getting a hook in yourself. Let me show you real quick how these work. Say this is the swivel off of your main line. Simply mash, it'll open up, and there you go. Now you have two swivels. Why that's important is all these fish, especially if you're only going to run these say every 24 or 25 hours, you can see I'm steadily spinning this hook. That swivel's turning. If something happens, like you can see there, it gets twisted up. The Trotline clip is mounted on a swivel too, so it will spin also instead of twisting your main line all up. If you run a live bait and they're down here swimming around and spinning and whatnot, you have plenty of pivot to keep that bait or the fish from twisting everything up, creating a knot, and possibly getting away. But anyway, that's how I build my trot lines for flatheads. Like I said, remember before you start building any trot lines, check your local regulations. Here in Missouri, 33 hooks maximum, and they have to be spaced at least 2 feet apart. And as far as the dropper, of course, you don't want your dropper so long that if you're 2 feet apart and you use 18-inch droppers, well, your baits, if you're running live bait, they can actually meet up in the middle and get tangled up. And trust me, if they can, they will. Anyway, I hope this helps you guys out. If you're interested in trot lining and want to give it a try, it's a very simple process. It is kind of labor intensive and a lot of work. A lot of people think it's a lazy way of fishing, but if you try it, I think you're going to enjoy it, and you'll find out it's a lot harder than what a lot of people out there believe. Anyway, I'm Bill, and I'll see you next time on Catfish Chronicles.